$100.
Yo, why this shit lagging so much?
20.
Yeah, my fault. My PC too shitty.
Third annual National Hobo Convention, aka Hobo Days, where hundreds of hobos from around the country gather to talk about all things hobo related. How long do you see yourself doing this for?
Till I die. I am the captain of a sinking ship.
When I first started out in 1970, we could build fires right in the rail yard.
We're seeing a lot more influx.
I thought hobos were just like niggas who like got nothing to their name. Bro, that's not what's happening, bro. That's not what's happening, bro. That's actually not, bro. Actually, Nas Zarula is on the 90-day. What's that shit called? I don't know what it's called, bro. I'm on that shit, bro. Like, bro, I'm about to be buff as shit. I'm about to be buff as shit by the end of the 3 months, my nigga. I'm about to be all that shit, bro. Y'all are gonna see me the whole different person, my nigga, I swear.
Of young riders.
The kids today use a lot of drugs, they drink a lot.
Traveling kids live like in dog years also.
Like, I think you meet the best people out there, but then you also meet the worst. People try to buy my girlfriend off me all the time, and I'm like, motherfucker. Yeah.
They've sort of invented their own culture.
Expanging, but
So, bro, you're the type of nigga to actually go for that shit.
busking, flying signs, those are all like ways we consider making money. Spanging's just like spare changing, you know? Flying signs like holding cardboard, buskin's playing music. And crack Spange just straight up asking for like what you want, like, hey, buy me a burger or something. Yeah.
Most people see train tracks and think, get off there, you might get hit by a train. But there's also people in this world who see train tracks and think to themselves, that is what fucking freedom looks like.
The freedom, I guess. I'm not a slave to the system.
They get up and go when they want to. They work when they want to. They rest when they want to. They travel to all these great places all over the United States.
Those people are called hobos.
It derives from the hoboy. Way back in the day, they used to have a hole in their shoulder with a knapsack, and they dug ditches. They used to be called hoboys. To whereas at modern day, we're still hoboys. We're just heading out with better opportunity, traveling workers.
I know that many people out there think that hobo is just a slur.
Yo, this is the first old nigga I saw with a face tattoo in my life, bro. Like, this shit looks crazy.
Used to describe a homeless person. Not the case. A hobo hops on a train to look for work, day jobs, a handyman with a stick and bindle and a heart full of adventure.
Yeah, I do a lot of seasonal work.
Bro, once I get my first tat, bro, which is very soon, bro. I promise you, very soon. It's gonna be right here, bro. I tell y'all, bro. I'm gonna come in here, flash the camera like these, all fucking stream. It's gonna be a 5-hour stream of me just doing that shit.
Like, I'm about to do beats, spent a lot of time out west doing the pot farms.
Tree work, sawman, rope man, disaster area stuff.
Landscaping, painting, carpentry, most dirty jobs that people don't want to do. I will clean up gutters.
There's several different ways to survive.
Someone bought my fingernails and toenail clippings once for $20.
Bro, how you unlock the Waffle House size, bro? He really 101, bro. I never seen nobody with that shit before, bro. You got it.
Where's that at?
It's in California. A lot of fucking weirdos out there. Yeah.
As you know, I'm something of a road man myself, so I have a major affinity for hobos.
And so, like many times before, I decided not to drive to Iowa, but instead to hit the side of the interstate ramp in the hopes of hitching a lift. Now, it should be noted that hobos traditionally hop freight trains as opposed to hitchhike, but I've done both, and I prefer hitchhiking purely for social reasons. Train hopping, while offering a much higher degree of picturesque landscape viewing compared to the oppressively commercialized atmosphere of interstate truck stop towns, can be isolating. For one, the train is really loud when it's moving, so it's hard to hold conversations.
Take them out of here.
And then, most people that you meet hiding out at rail yards are either other train hoppers, railroad employees trying to arrest you, or tweakers trying to kill you. With hitchhiking, you see a broader spectrum of humanity. You never know who's gonna pick you up off the side of the road, or who you might meet in the nondescript grassy area behind the side of the road.
Well, I'm 37. I live here in Brownsburg. I got 3 kids, and man, I hate to say this, man, but I sold drugs, and that's the way I had to survive.
After a brief yet familiar conversation, I was off to Iowa over.
Yeah, I might have sold a cart in the bathroom once, literally only once before, but like shit, bro. We had to get
700 miles away from where my journey began in Twinsburg, Ohio, a small, quirky town that hosts the annual Twins Gathering, which I attended with the Hoff twins. Here's a preview of that.
Do you guys fuck with the police?
Yes, my professors are former police officers. I just took a shooting course this time.
Day 1,
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, they were bad. They ain't never even been in a fight before. No. You know, it's like, you gotta fight for our love.
Twins. We've all seen them.
Millions of sperm are released during a single ejaculation.
What
we enjoy coming.
Yo, I thought this was like a hobo shit, bro. How do we get to this topic, bro?
There is a close bond. We live together, we think alike, and we oftentimes will go and say the same statement in unison.
I would say it's just the equivalent of having like a really good friend that you do everything with. And that's why they say like the twin telepathy and stuff. It's nothing like psychic, it's just...
If you'd like to watch the full thing, it's currently available on Patreon at www.patreon.com/channel5. Link in bio. Anyways, back to the side of the road.
Nah, I'm not coming. That shit is coming.
Let's get one more scoop of bean dip and we'll hit the road. See what we can get into today.
Within 2 minutes, I was picked up by a friendly motorist. Booyah.
Oh, hell yeah. Fuck yeah, cool. What's up, bro? How you doing? Good. I'm just trying to get out west to Iowa.
The man said he was an immigrant from Nigeria who'd recently gotten his citizenship. He said that despite there being too much gay stuff on TV, he likes the US so far and is looking forward to starting a family here.
No, this nigga wildin', bro.
They're trying to have the gay rights and just don't bring that bullshit around me.
After taking me to a restaurant in Indianapolis, he drove me all the way to my destination without accepting a dollar. And there I was, Britt, Iowa, the Paris of the cornfields.
So yeah, here we are. I'm pretty stoked. Directly behind these trees, there's about 350 hobos hanging out, talking about hobo shit. So we're gonna go in there, figure out what's going on.
Upon my first arrival to town, it was hard to spot any real hobos as I walked down Main Street. As is typical with any kitschy regional Americana event, there were people wearing tongue-in-cheek hobo outfits, eating corn dogs and crazy t-shirts, and giving money to buskers performing Woody Guthrie covers. But then I saw the Hobo Museum in the middle of town, where, after paying a small entrance fee, I was able to feast my eyes on artifacts from back in the 1930s and learn about things like the Hobo Code, a hieroglyphic language of symbols that apparently hobos would use to scrawl important messages in train stop towns, particularly in the West, to convey important information to other working travelers like Fishbones, Bozo Texino, or the legendary hobo dog duo Stretch and Burlington. Of course, by the time the Hobo Code was cracked by academics and put into museums like this, it was virtually obsolete. For some brief history, the hobo way of life began to form shortly after the Great Depression, when down-and-out fellas from across the country would head west in search of prosperity and adventure. Soon it became a culture and a way of life, for returning veterans as well.
After World War II and after Korea, there were a whole lot of military veterans who had PTSD and whatnot, and they just couldn't face going back to regular society. So they went on the rails.
They didn't have money to travel, and a lot of them didn't have jobs, so they traveled to work in apple orchards and fruit plantations and stuff like that.
What was it like being on the road in the 70s?
Much different than now. A whole lot of difference. So when I first started out in 1970, we could build fires right in the rail yard. Nobody cared what we did, really. As long as we didn't get hurt, we didn't steal anything, we didn't break nothing, nobody cared. The bull would come around, and they were usually like retired cops, and they were really just didn't want to fill out any paperwork. And they would come around and sort of, they weren't really bullies, but they would act sort of aggressive to establish their authority. And they'd be like, all right, I don't want to see any of you guys around when they're kicking cars, you better be out of my yard.
Do you have a hobo name?
K-Bar. Yeah, I was in the Marine Corps, so I broke in with an old guy named Roof. He was an old guy. He started catching out in 1960, so he'd been on the rails about 10 years when I met him. Yeah. And almost all these old guys have a similar story where they met up with some other old guy who was a tramp who sort of taught them the ropes. The young kids today, not so much. That they don't pair up with old guys, but back in the day, that was kind of the way it was. Almost all the adult men in 1970 were veterans of World War II or Korea. They were almost all alcoholics. Many of them had a tragic personal story, but they were almost never talked about it. They were divorced and estranged from their children and stuff like that, but they never really talked about it.
So comparatively, is that pretty different to the people who hop trains now?
Completely different than what's going on today.
Yo, what's up, everybody? I want to take a quick break here to talk about a direct threat to the hobo lifestyle: anti-homelessness laws, specifically Trump's recent executive order to remove homeless sleeping on the streets. Let's take a look at how the media machine is covering it. The left and right are covering Trump's executive order quite differently. For example, the left-wing Raw Stories headline reads, "Cruel. Trump blasted over quiet new order targeting the most vulnerable. While the right-wing Breitbart headline reads, Trump's executive order empowers states and cities to remove homeless from the streets. As we know, and y'all know this, different outlets push different agendas, shaping the story to fit their own narratives, which is why independent reporting matters, and we here at Channel 5 are 100% committed to bringing y'all raw, unfiltered coverage straight from the streets. But before we hit the streets, we get informed using what you might ask, ground news. Ground news is a dope-ass news aggregate that shows you the story. Just get danger and hope arrival of more intense drugs. Back to Iowa. It goes without saying that modernization, stranger danger, the arrival of more intense drugs, and the criminalization of vagrancy were all factors that led to a major decline in hoboship. But the buzz around town was that vagabond travel culture was having a huge resurgence, and apparently a new generation of hobos was forming.
We're seeing a lot more influx of young riders, which I think is absolutely fabulous. Some of the young riders that are they get a little rambunctious, and they just need to fine-tune themselves to learn how to do the right things.
They've sort of invented their own culture. And it revolves around the idea that they're anarchists. A lot of them go around marking up anarchy symbols.
This optimism was refreshing to say the least. The Vice documentary made about this event 9 years ago, which I watched in the car on the way, was literally called Death of the American Hobo, painting a grim picture of a subculture in hopeless decline. As I made my way through town, seemingly out of nowhere behind the city-sponsored mummified hubbub, I could make out the faint aroma of a trash fire and followed it like a signal flare, certain there were real young hobos lurking in the shadows. And sure enough, I found some.
Paparazzi, yes! Whoop whoop! Are you a juggalo? Yes, juggalo hobo, whoop whoop! I love it. I've been sucking on that 2 days. I've been on it for 3 years. Shit, you don't give a fuck. I'll tie a string to my nuts and jump out a 12-story window. Don't give a shit.
So for those that don't know, what does the life of a hobo look like?
Well, it's not like it used to be. Bro, we could jump on a train anywhere and run to New York, California, whatever. But they also used to split off. If you're planning to go to New York, it might split off and fucking end up in, New Jersey or fucking Florida, whatever. Yeah. It was crazy. But now it's illegal. You know, they want to throw you off and throw you in jail for 30 days for trespassing.
What's your craziest, train hopping story?
I was in Boston, Massachusetts, redhead, bombing. We're getting our thing, long story short, before she wants to get off or whatever, she was like, shit on my chest. I'm like, man, I'm already tripping on shrooms. You're fucking with me. No.
She said what?
She said, shit on my chest. Shit. Yeah, okay, so I'm a juggalo. I don't give a fuck. I tried it. I popped a little pooplet on this shit.
Yo, niggas is wildin', bro. Hey, I don't know what I expected though. It's kind of fits their,
rubbing it in. She's like, oh, that gets me off. Dude, I had to ditch on that bitch. That's crazy shit.
You know where she is now?
Huh? Hell no. No, I got kids in Beijing, China and shit, man.
You have kids in China?
Yep. Yeah, I got a scroll in the fucking mail.
Just like that, we were in. I had so many questions. Who were all these young hobos flooding into town? They seemed all so different, yet shared a unified, free spirit. Was there some kind of central idea or attitude that brought them all here?
My name is Thomas Pickles, Tommy S. Pickles. Kind of like Hunter S. Thompson. Yeah. Because I really like the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas movie, so I use references of that sometimes. My old tag is Rango. Yeah. I used to tag Rango because I'm next level, Lizard of Light. My newest one is Smoke and Go, because I smoke and then I go.
Where do you go?
Everywhere.
I'm Batsman, the 2021 Hobo King.
What's going on with this fit, man? It looks great.
Everything, see, I hand stitch myself. So when you ride as many trains as I do.
Oh, these niggas real fashion demons. What?
Your clothes tear up so fast. I just been keeping up with my own patchwork. There's only one way you gotta keep them patched up.
After meeting the Hobo King, my brain flooded with questions, so I decided to start with the basics.
So what does it mean to be a hobo?
Helping other brothers out. Do good and good will come back.
Help our brothers overcome.
A hobo is a working traveler, a tramp is a non-working traveler, and then a bum is a non-working non-traveler.
When you're on the road, where do you sleep?
Just outside, and then a hobo is a working traveler, a tramp is a non-working traveler, and then a bum is a non-working non-traveler.
When you're on the road, where do you sleep?
Just outside. Like if it's about to rain, I always carry a tarp, so I just set up a tarp above. Otherwise, I find like a little cuddy spot because my dog just passed this year, but she wasn't like the best at having people walk by me when I'm sleeping, so I'd go out of my way to find a little hidden spot.
Outdoors. I like outdoors, so rarely a hotel or anything else like that. Really, really rarely. Usually,
you say outdoors, you mean like in a tent or just in the grass?
I'm sharing a tent with somebody right now, but I don't typically travel with a tent. I try to stay where it's 75 and sunny, and I'll go work some places and stuff where you can sleep outside. I'll winter somewhere. I'll head back south and house up somewhere so I can work for a few months and afford to travel and go see friends and go do the jobs and see the places I have never seen before and just get along with everybody.
Do you just jump on a moving train?
No, I wait till they do a thing called crew change. When the engineer conductor gets on and off, I'm getting on and off. When they do their 8-hour shift, I do my 8 to 10-hour shift.
Twin. You're really on the same shit, Diego. No bull.
What appeals to you about living this way?
The freedom, I guess, to where I'm not a slave to the system. If I go work and get $1,300 on a paycheck, I might only see $300 of it. It gets me like depressed, become suicidal. I'd rather live out here, do nothing, and live free than be a slave to the system.
Was there a point in your life where you thought like maybe you wanted to go down the white?
Actually, way more handsome than you. Like no bullshit. Like, watch, like niggas looking a little rough right now. The braids fucked up. Niggas don't have a cut, bro. Watch, chill, bro. Good. Chill.
Picket fence like corporate job route, or you just been outlaw roadman to the core your whole life?
I started into this later than most of these people, and so I kind of came into it backwards, just backwards.
Bro,
I don't talk a lot about why I got on the road, but no, I'd already done
that
college.
That nigga's a lean, guzzling goblin, bro. I'm not the same, bro. We're not the same.
And I was teaching and had a family and enlisted in the Army. A bunch of stuff happened, and life got turned upside down, and I ran away to the beach, and I went and became a beach bum for about 3 months, and then came back home and sold off everything I had, put some money in my sock and start walking. Had a lot of questions. It's funny how walking or the meditation of moving around and changing scenery and everything is just I feel like you find answers. If you're really asking questions, start moving around and you'll find answers. I came into this, very suicidal and didn't really care, and it's given me a lot of purpose and a lot of friends and a lot of new family. So
after I had a divorce, we went through a bunch of stuff. It was an after thing in my life, not something I always wanted to do.
How would you describe your childhood?
I was moving like my adulthood, foster home after foster home after foster home. I was moved around a bunch, 22 different placements. That's what my caseworker told me.
You have any relationship with your parents?
No, they don't really care much about me. I wouldn't be in foster care if they did. They if I was to die here, they wouldn't mind.
War, divorce, death of children. I just got into a place where I needed to run away and I didn't really care. Probably lacked the courage of my convictions to go through with another suicide attempt. So instead, I just started hopping freight and doing crazy stuff and walking off and getting really lost. And I don't know. I think from that core grew a different person that is partly the same as the old man, but a different person. A man can work on anything in solitude, save for character. So you can talk the game, you can talk a lot of talk or whatever, but being around people and being useful to people, I feel is where you build the most character.
What's like the best thing about this lifestyle?
Being able to see a new place every day or every other day and meet all kinds of new different people. It's sad because a lot of people pass away. You encounter more people passing away than you do living a normal life in the same spot.
What are some of the most common ways to go in the hobo life?
To perish?
Yeah.
Shucks. It could be anything random, but one of the most common lately has been drug overdoses, usually fentanyl or something that the government created. It's all conspiracy. It's population control, so we're like the first ones to go. Traveling kids live like in dog years also. A lot of them they drink a lot and they don't drink enough water, they don't eat very good. I try to eat decent food and drink decent beverages, and I'm still not invincible.
What are some of the dangers of being a hobo?
Well, that nigga said he living in dog years, bro. That shit's insane, bro. That shit shouldn't be human.
Some limbs.
The trains for one, and then the people you run into, and they're like desperate, down on luck and desperate. So when they're like that, they're willing to like try to take advantage of you.
Yeah. Have you had any close calls before?
Several. Yeah. I almost been a few times out here too, so it gets ugly out here.
And especially if you're a gal, you know, they have it way worse.
I seen a girl actually, one time we were hopping a train. This girl, she got her leg missing. She hit her foot in the train wheel, and I carried her away from the tracks. I could see the skeleton of her foot hanging out, the skin, all the meat hanging off her foot. Really graphic, and it was really bad.
I almost got hit by an Amtrak train in like Tacoma once, yeah. But like I said, tweakers are the real issue. They fucking come out with their knives and shit trying to stab you, and you know, like. But if you have a good head on your shoulders, you know, you can try to stay away from it.
Is it technically illegal to hop trains?
Yeah, it's illegal to trespass and get on other people's property. It's legal to ride the trains. Yeah, it's definitely illegal.
What's the actual charge for hopping a train?
To whatever they want in whatever county you get caught in. So it could be a week. It also depends on which county and what state and what train company. You could go to jail. They could hem you up for up to 6 weeks or 8 weeks.
It all depends on if you just not trying to tag it up the place. It look like me with Pat, you just trying to ride. They usually write you a ticket and let you go. But if you look fresh and clean and stuff like that, look like you're trying to tag up the place or vandalize, they usually will take you to jail, write you a ticket.
For those who don't know, what's a bull?
Oh, a railroad bull is like a railroad cop who just tries to pull you off. And they're looking for you, you know, on the trains and stuff. Yeah.
They're allowed to like beat the shit out of you, right?
I mean, I guess, you know, cops, you know, and any authority figure do anything they want. So.
But like BNSF cops don't have to Mirandize you. They can just start punching you in the face like a bouncer.
I kind of think that, yeah, I don't know fully, but definitely they can pretty much do whatever they want, especially when you're out in the middle of fucking nowhere. You know.
Have you gone to jail for it before?
Yes, I have. Because I tried to duck out really quick, and there was nowhere to go. But it was all right when I got out. Everything worked out. Didn't get any extra charges. Got off scot-free, basically.
How long do you see yourself doing this for?
Until I die. I am the captain of a sinking ship. Like the captain goes down with his ship. And so I'm going to do the same thing.
Oh! That's the nasty
While obviously a bit different in musical preference and political orientation from the storied hobos of old, I could see a lot of similarities in the characteristics of the old school vagabonds that K-Bar described and the new ones that I'd met, namely, sharing a tragic personal story that led them into a life of wandering. It became clear by the end of my time with the new hobos that while not sporting a stinky stick and bindle and bulky gray beards, they certainly embodied the spirit of adventure, restlessness, and financial creativity that gave hobos their name in the olden days. Not to mention, the new hobos are still shrouded in some degree of secrecy. While the hobo codes from the museum are long gone, most of these new travelers possess something even more powerful, an illegal, constantly changing document containing the shift schedules of every single railroad yard in the United States, and more. Out of respect for the culture, I will not name this document or tell any of you guys where to get it because I can't even get it. It's for hobos only.
It tells you by location, it tells you where you can go to catch a train and how to go about it, like where there's a hole in the fence. And sometimes it tells you the times that you're likely to see a train. It's more or less like field intelligence. When I got this, the guy that gave it to me said, you got to raise your right hand. And I said, what? And he says, you have to raise your right hand and swear. And I said, what am I swearing to? And he said, you're swearing that you're not going to give this to anybody else that's not supposed to have it, and you're not going to put it on the internet. And I said, okay. So I raised my hand and I said that. And he said, if you make a copy of it, you have to make the next person swear. So it's like an honor system. You're not supposed to give or make a copy of it for anybody except an experienced tramp. The idea is they do not want children getting a hold of a copy of it on the internet and deciding to run away from home and go hop trains and get killed. You cannot put it on the internet. You cannot give it to children. You cannot sell it. You cannot copy it for a profit. If you make a copy for an individual that you trust, it has to be someone you trust and not just some stranger. You can only charge them what it costs you to make it. So if it costs you $10 to make it, you can only charge them, you can't charge them $20. It's against the rules. And if somebody finds out you did that, your ass is shit.
What's the name of your Chinese son?
That I don't know. I couldn't read they send you a scroll and then
they damn near in like a whole different world, bro. Like, they live in a whole different timeline, bro.
You a little pamphlet that says, you got to take this little DNA test, swab, you send it back, and then, you eventually get a little thing saying, you're 99, like Maury show, man.
You have a message for the kids out here who might want to consider train hopping?
A fucking school. You don't want to run on this fucking rail shit. You don't want to be bouncing around, living from fucking check to check. Go get you a little goddamn car, run that shit. Don't try and run into the ground, but fucking get out there and do it. Hey, Junior, come on, get in this shit. This is Milo, man. He's cool as shit.
What's up?
What the
Junior,
fuck? Where did
come
he
and get
spawn
it.
from?
What do you guys to say to the hobos or kids?
Hi.
Channel 5 live worldwide, Hollywood and Vine. Fuck the authority, Channel 5 News. Channel 55. We don't
All right, look, bro.
fuck with custers, and 5 is the best number.
All right, if you're watching this right now, I got some good news. We are going on tour. That's right.
Okay. I don't really care about this. I'm not gonna lie.